What's up, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. I'm also going to break down why today is going to be a very important day as the market's been shopping around for quite some time. And we could finally see a very, very big move, in my opinion. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below or use my QR code right here to sign up. If you sign up for me with the link down below and deposit $100, you're going to get $20 of free Nvidia stock. If you deposit $2,000, you're going to get $50 worth of Nvidia. Deposits $10,000 to get $300 worth of the stock, or deposits $50,000 to get $1,000 of free Nvidia. Now it's going to qualify for a 3.6% APY base rate plus a 4.5% APY extra for 3 months, making it a total of an 8.1% APY. The offer ends very soon, in just about 5 days from now. There's only 5 days left, so please check out my link down below to sign up. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the market. So in terms of SPY, as you guys could tell, we had this high right here at this 688 area, and since then we're making lower highs and lower lows, and we're continuing to fall. The question is, will we end up continuing to reject, or do we get a big break to the upside? Well, this depends on FOMC. Now, what's happening for today, it's Wednesday, December 10th, 2025. There's not really much data coming out, at least for the morning. It's going to be very, very quiet. And oftentimes before FOMC, you see a lot of chop and sideways price action. So I do expect a lot of chop this morning. But once we get to 2 o'clock p.m., we have the interest rate decision coming out from the Fed. We're expecting a 25 basis point cut. And then we have the FOMC economic projections coming out. This is going to be very important as well, because that's when we're going to be watching to see what happens with the rates, for the first, second, and third year out, not to mention for the current and longer term. That may cause high volatility, so get ready for that at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And finally, at 2:30 p.m., we have the press conference with Jerome Powell, who's going to be giving a speech, and he's also going to be reacting to a lot of the Q&A session questions. So get ready for that as well. That's going to be very impactful for the markets, in my opinion. Now, the market knows there's going to be a cut coming. We've basically priced this in. So if this is priced in, once it's announced, does that mean the market will slow down? Will it be a buy the rumor, sell the news event? Or do we get some kind of bounce with Jerome Powell? We will have to wait and see. Now, finally, I want to just add on that for today, we're going to have Oracle announcing their earnings after market close, and tomorrow we have Costco. So with that being said, what's making up headlines so far? Right now, the market has once again priced in what we were looking for. Is it going to be a hawkish cut, though? Is it going to be something different? We'll have to wait and see. And then on top of this, we're going to see what happens, at least moving forward, as we have Oracle announcing their earnings soon. Besides that, so we're going to wait and see what happens with other pieces of news, but there's not really a whole lot coming out, at least for today. We're just waiting for FOMC. So for the setup on SPY, we were talking about the possibility of an inverse head and shoulders. As you guys could tell, there's a left shoulder here, there's a head over here, and we're going to see if we're about to form a right shoulder or not, or if we're about to see a big rally back to new all-time highs. If Jerome Powell causes us to rally above 690, we're going back up to 700. But if we lose 682, we could be looking for 680, which is with the 50 EMA. Then the gap fell to 675. So there could be some downside risk. The 4-hour is looking a little bit more bearish with this bearish divergence, and there is some downside risk looking at a possible head and shoulders that's developing here, which makes me suspect that there could be some downside risk. Now, for now, I do think we kind of like shop around like this as we approach FOMC, and then when the decision comes out, we're going to see if we pump back up or if we get that rug pull. This setup does look more bearish, favoring 675 soon, but we'll see just to be safe. There's also a gap below on SPY, so that could be worrisome for some investors. On top of this, for the triple Q, the same thing is essentially going on. Inverse head and shoulders like pattern. When you look at this very closely, we have a left shoulder, head, and we're going to see if this right shoulder pans out before we see a massive bounce. We'll see about that. We've been chopping around on SPY and the QQQ for some time, so we're going to be expecting a big move. As of right now, we're also developing a shorter term left shoulder, head, and this is kind of like a right shoulder. If we break 630, we could be pushing a lot more, but if we can't, we're going to be looking for a test of 619. If that fails us, we're looking for a big dip to like 609, so I'll be watching that very closely if this is going to be a head and shoulders. On the IWM, we have a quadruple top at 252. We do have a tendency of rejecting near the 252s. So we're going to see if that happens. And if we lose 250, we're looking for a dip back down towards 247. On ES, we're basically forming a head and shoulders. There's a left shoulder here, a head and then a right shoulder. If we break 68.57, we're going to be pushing higher. If we don't, we could be dumping back down to about 6,800. There's going to be a risk of us consolidating, then tipping more if this fails us, so watch that very closely. On NQ, we also have resistance at 25,800. We have to break this. If we don't, there's a head and shoulders, and that may also lead us back down to 25,560. Bitcoin is rejecting, could be looking for 90,000 or so. Tesla is trying to push a little bit, but the question is, does Tesla get a rejection with the market? Is this going to be a lower high for Tesla and we come back down, or do we try to break out and get back above 455? If we break 455, we could try for 460, but if we end up losing 443, we're looking for a dip back down to 436 or below. I'm favoring consolidation and a dip back down to the 430s, so be careful. Nvidia is also trying to push a little bit higher here. We're going to see if we can break past 187.5. If we don't, if this is a lower high rejection, we could be dipping to the low 180s. On Appl, we're trying to bounce a little bit with the double bottom, so we could be looking for essentially 278, and we'll see if we turn back down. On AMD, we're also consolidating right here. We're slowly climbing a bit higher, so this does favor upside a bit more as long as 220 holds. It could be looking for 224 for now. Coinbase is showing a little bit of weakness, could be looking for a test of 272, and we'll see if it bounces. If it doesn't, then we're looking for a big rug pull. For Amazon, we're looking for a test of 230, and we'll see if we reject there. On Meta, we're looking bearish. We're going to see if 646 holds. If not, we're going to be dipping more to about 635. Google needs to hold 317. If not, we're looking for 313. Looking at Microsoft, we got a rejection. We're below 486. If that does not hold, we could be dipping back down to 480. And Oracle is also consolidating right here. We're going to see how well we hold up. If we don't, we may consolidate and dip back down to about 217. Last but not least, the VIX is looking a bit more bullish. If we break 17.58, we're looking for 18.22 next or above. This could be a break out of this bullish falling wedge, which is once again bearish for the markets. Another bearish confluence, if anything, which is once again telling us that there is downside risk in the markets. We may consolidate for now, but once we get to FOMC, expect a big move, and there could be a big rug pull coming as well. So be very careful. Thank you all so much for listening. I wish you all the best heading into FOMC. I just want to say the setups do look more bearish, but we will see what Jerome Powell causes. So be unbiased heading into Jerome Powell's big speech and such, and we'll see what happens. All right. So we're going to be unbiased today, as always, manage risks and such. But at the same time, just know that the setups do look bearish, and that could be a red flag. Thank you for listening, and peace out.